Focusing like a Jedi, the power of conscious attention in business, leadership, and life. Written by ChatGPT and Jedi Steve. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. I remember watching a 60 Minutes episode featuring individuals with tremendous memories. One thing that stood out to me was the idea that in order to remember, you have to be able to forget. After contemplating that concept for years, I came to a powerful determination. In order to focus on what matters most, we must learn to intentionally block out what does not. Think about that for a moment. How often do we move through our day carrying several thoughts at the same time? How often do we jump from one idea to another, one notification to another, one problem to another, and then wonder why we feel mentally exhausted? Focusing like a Jedi begins with a simple choice. What deserves my attention right now? For business leaders, this question can change everything. For students, it can transform how you learn. For anyone seeking greater purpose, clarity, and personal responsibility, it can become a daily practice. The mind is constantly receiving information. The challenge is not simply getting more information. The challenge is learning which information deserves your energy. A powerful leader does not respond to everything. A conscious leader learns to pause, observe, and choose. What if, before responding to the next email, text, interruption, or challenge, you simply paused and asked, "Is this where my attention is most valuable right now?" That pause creates power. Focus is not about ignoring the world. It is about becoming intentional about what you allow into your mental space. When you consciously choose your direction, your thoughts begin to support your actions instead of competing with them. This is especially important for students. Studying is not simply about sitting with a book or staring at a screen. It is about creating an environment where the brain can connect, organize, remember, and apply information. Could you study for 25 focused minutes without checking your phone? Could you give one assignment your complete attention before moving to the next? Could you replace "I can't focus" with "I am learning how to focus, one moment at a time"? Words matter because the language we use can influence the direction of our attention. Instead of saying, "I am overwhelmed," consider asking, "What is the next useful action?" Instead of saying, "I have too much to do," ask, "What matters most right now?" Instead of asking, "Why can't I focus?" ask, "What can I remove so I can focus?" The question changes the direction of the mind. Nutrition and physical movement also matter. The brain is part of the body, and the body supports the brain. Adequate hydration, balanced nutrition, quality sleep, regular physical activity, and periods of recovery can help create the conditions for clearer thinking. Even a simple walk can become a reset. What happens when you step away from the screen, breathe deeply, move your body, and return with a clearer intention? There is another dimension to focus that is often overlooked: the heart. True leadership is not only about productivity, achievement, or getting ahead. It is about recognizing that our actions affect other people. We are connected through our choices, our words, our relationships, and the energy we bring into a room. When your attention becomes conscious, your leadership becomes more conscious. You begin to notice the person who needs encouragement. You listen before reacting. You ask better questions. You become accountable not only for what you accomplish, but for how you make people feel along the way. What if success were measured not only by what you achieve, but also by what you contribute? That is where focus becomes more than a productivity skill. It becomes a way of living. A Jedi understands that attention is a form of power. Wherever you consistently place your attention, you strengthen that pathway. If you constantly focus on fear, distraction, conflict, and what is missing, those experiences can dominate your mental landscape. If you intentionally focus on solutions, learning, service, gratitude, discipline, and possibility, you begin moving in a different direction. This does not mean pretending challenges do not exist. It means choosing your response. So today ask yourself, what deserves my attention? What distraction am I willing to release? What conversation needs my full presence? What action can I take today that my future self will appreciate? And perhaps the most important question of all, am I using my attention to create the person, leader, student, and human being I truly want to become? You do not need to control everything. You need to consciously choose your next move. Focus is a practice. Leadership is a practice. Accountability is a practice. And every moment gives us another opportunity to practice with greater awareness. Clear the noise. Choose your direction. Move with purpose. Serve with heart. And focus like a Jedi. Jedi mode activated.
What do you guys think?